I would like to tell this story about the history of the Independence Town Center. It's not going to be really long. I'm going to get right to it to show you what my role has been versus my father and Jeremy Deters. I think you'll find it very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I want all of you, especially those of you that just moved out here over the last 20 years, there was a time when the Independence Town Center and that Kroger and all of those shops and that park and that city building and that fire station did not exist up on that beautiful location in that park. And all of those multifamily housing, Forest Run, all of that did not exist. What happened many years ago, several decades now, is I kept driving by the Van Horn Farm. And I kept looking at the Van Horn Farm. And I contacted the Van Horns. The property was listed. And I signed a contract to buy the Van Horn Farm. Me alone. Conditional upon zoning approvals, everything else. And I took my vision to my partner, Charles Deters, at a company meeting and discussed it with Brian Fields, my other partner, my dad, and the board, and we discussed it. And the clock started ticking on when the deadline to put up the money and actually do it and go forward was coming. I bought an option on it. My dad didn't want to do it. And this is so funny because the irony of history. You know how I got my dad to say, okay, yeah, we need to do it? I said, Pops, it's this simple. If we don't do it, if you don't do it, I'm taking this deal to somebody else. One of the people, this is what's so weird and funny about it. One of the people I mentioned who'd I'd already spoken to that was interested in was Bill Erpenbeck. Now, thank God that didn't happen. But the idea of me taking that deal to somebody else and doing the deal myself with somebody else finally caused my dad on the very last day to say, okay, let's do it. Now, I handled the site plan work, the zone change plan, and the whole idea was mine. 50 acres of commercial, 50 acres of multifamily. Let's give over 20 acres to the city. Let's rezone this single family. The whole concept, the whole idea was mine. So when you enjoy the park up there, the city building, the firehouse, and all of that, it wasn't Charlie Deters. Okay? It was all my idea, all my concept. And I knew the sewers were coming. And the sewers coming. And by the way, you know how the sewers got there? Because Clyde Middleton got elected. Who ran Clyde Middleton's campaign? Me. Now, there's a punchline in this story. I also get on the phone with Bill Rimke, who I knew. And Bill Rimke agrees to be the anchor grocery tenant. So, as we're building it, and Rimke's is going forward, Kroger's approaches Rimke's and says, we want to buy your location here. We want to be the grocery. Rimke, they gave Rimke too good of a deal. I think he made $1 million. They said, hey, we'll take your position. Well, then Rimke didn't want to be part owner. By the way, Rimke was bought in for a third owner. He decided he didn't want to be a landlord of a Kroger. So rather than that come back to the town center, that 1/3, and me, Dad did it himself. So Dad basically took 1/3. Now he already knew, now think about this. He knew Kroger's was coming in. We were going to have a Kroger tenant. Pretty damn good deal, don't you think? So does Dad let the whole town center, the LLC, take that position? No! He took it in his own name. That was awful nice of you, Pops, to take a third of that when you know you got a Kroger instead of letting me and Brian Fields partake in it with the Deters company owning it. He did that. He did that. And ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, the rest is history. By the way, Jeremy Deters was not around. He had nothing to deal with the Independence Town Center. Now you might say, well, what's this got to do with your latest war with your dad and everybody? Knowing what I just told you, this is what they did. That lot up there, the lot as you go in, there's a sign up there, Jeremy Deters, build the lease and everything else. They had an offer of about $400,000 and some odd $1,000, about $400,000, I think it was $390 to sell that. They decided, hell with it, we're backing out. I told my dad, I said, Dad, I'll buy that. What is it worth? Whatever it is worth, I will buy that lot. So I wanted to put the law office up there. He won't sell it to me. He just ignored it. He ignored it. They've sold lots for undervalue. Oh, it gets even better. It gets even better. When Kroger's finally bought the place that's their building, Kroger's owns that location now. We own the outlots, but that aren't sold. But they own where their Kroger is, okay? They had on his own decided to buy out Wayne Bach at the lumber company. Nobody else had any say in it. Lumber company. Who is his partner in the lumber company? Oh! His weird, gay-like buddy, Kenny Bach. I mean, that is how and by the way, I want to tell you this. The stories that are rolling in from business people who my dad has screwed over the years are rolling into me. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I got 20 new stories of my dad screwing over people. It's unbelievable. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. By the way, I'm just pointing this out. Just pointing this out. For all you that enjoy the Independence Town Center, my idea, my vision, and my dad still screwed me over.